the forces of demand and supply to equate it. I don't think so. I don't think so. After all, when the world went into recession, it wasn't bailed out by the forces of supply and demand. It was through state intervention, whether in Washington, in Bonn, in London, and in Tokyo. It was statesmen, not bankers, that were talking. When Obama became president, it wasn't the Federal Reserve, it wasn't the IMF, it wasn't the World Bank. It was statesmen appropriating state funds. And even here in Nigeria, when some reckless people mismanage their businesses, it was state funds, other AMCOM, that have been used, not market forces, to keep them artificially afloat and to give them economic oxygen. So I see that the state has always been called upon to intervene. So the argument that the state should just, the central bank should just be an onlooker, allow the market to take its place, is not grounded and supported by evidence, whether here or abroad. Now, what would be the benefit of devaluation? I wear two caps now, so it's not as if one doesn't see some benefit at all. With declining inflow, for the same quantity of dollars, if we devalue, we will have more nominal naira to the extent of that devaluation. So that, for example, if the revenue accrued to Edo State from the Federation account is $100 a month, currently that $100 might give me 100 by 200. You give me 10,000, 20,000. So, but if we follow the parallel market, it will give me 30,000. So, on the face of it, without any effort, the revenue accrued to Edo State government will increase by 50%. And so, my workers who live on Naira, I will have 10,000 more to pay them. And that might just be what I need to move from deficit in terms of inability to pay wages to having even a surplus to pay wages to meet what I call the money illusion of the working people. So it will help me. And then I can purport I have cleared all my salary arrears and even my pension arrears. But I don't want ISA to listen to this. When you do that, you will think you are smart. And government have done that in some countries and even in this country. When the full impact of that devaluation begin to bite, the workers will set up to ask for compensation for the loss in purchasing power. And that is a legitimate business of trade unions worldwide, the right to protect your living standard. Now, that will trigger off chains of agitation. Of course, between the time the unions will make the proposals, through the process of negotiation, planning and executing a strike action to compel government to raise wages, at least some benefit will seem to have accrued to the employers. But the destruction and detention, if that is also monetized, the entire gain of that short-term gain would have been lost. Of course, the pressure on inflation will remain extremely high. But much more than that, for me, the real critical question that settles this debate is, will devaluation curb our appetite for imported goods, as Falaye had argued in the 80s, and all the other subsequent arguments by market fundamentalists? The evidence from CBN shows that prices in the Nigeria environment does not curb our appetite for foreign goods. Just looking at my note, I saw that the last time the CBN devalued from 158 to 198 around 2014, as a matter of fact, our export actually increased. Our export actually declined by 34.1%. and our import increased by 2.9% after that devaluation. Now, I can imagine that the reason you have this abnormality, I return to the original question. When human beings don't labor to earn, they do not spend rationally. And because you have so much free money, this period also coincided with the preparation for elections and all the things that politicians have to do. I'm not going to talk politics today, but it is an open secret that state funds have been used to finance political activities. And so, if a lot of money was accruing to people like that, and in huge numbers, their spending cannot be rational. So even if you devalue 300%, it will not curb the appetite of the elite to import toothpick, to import frozen chicken, even if it is harmful, and to even import expired rice from other countries. So the thesis that devalue, you will export more, is not supported by evidence. The evidence we have is that 98% of our export is in oil and gas, which is priced in dollars. So no matter what your exchange rate is, this percentage will not change. So if it will change, you are not going to be able to count any gains in this respect. On the other hand, will fewer people travel? Because when you devalue, of course, the official cost of ticket, whether business class or first class or economy, will go up. Will fewer people travel? Again, the evidence is no. Because those who occupy permanently the executive suite of British Airways, they are people who live on rent. They are the subsidy boys, they are the currency speculators, they are the political class, because that is the only in Nigeria you find a man, his wife, and children, other 10, occupying 6 out of the 12 seats in a first class. I haven't seen it. I have traveled fairly far and wide, where you have little kids, other 10, a man, his wife. These are not billionaires. They are not relations of Bill Gates. And they just occupy the place. When they drop, and you see people coming to pick them, you see that GH, which means a government plate number. And of course, those who are fronting. So for me, I am unable to see what the benefit is. I just saw from CBN numbers what has happened to guide us and for us to be a little more careful. I think that I have addressed the question of those who are prosecuting. Now, who is defending? I think it's very interestingly, the defender, among those defending include the commander-in-chief, who is better equipped to defend, because after all, he spent all his life defending Nigeria. The president has said clearly, I will not join forces with those who want to kill the Naira. And when he used the word kill, he means it in every sense of the word. Because he used that same word to describe corruption. So if corruption does not kill Nigeria, if Nigeria doesn't kill corruption, corruption will kill Nigeria. And you can see what it's doing now. For the first time, we are beginning to hear what is happening in military cycles, in security cycle. In the past, we are told that the army is above board. Whatever they do is closed. But now, under the logic of end to impunity, everybody is being investigated. So he is leading, and of course, he has CBN queuing into it. At least if the policy pronouncement by CBN governor are anything to go by, I will classify him as those who are defending. Where do I stand? I associate myself with the position of my commander-in-chief and of the president. Why? Not because I am a loyal party member, no, but because I am unable to find gains. I am unable to find gains because I look at the statistics here and I see that what we have done, a couple of things have gone wrong, which points to the quality, which shows a strong correlation between the character of the political leadership and the burden on the Naira. For example, Between 2001 and 2000.